to me, it really just takes focusing on that other person and just saying like, we do have some stuff that's going on and we do need to talk about it and we're going to talk about it. But right now we have to put our stuff aside because this is about more than us and we have to help this person. Hello and welcome back to the Two is Greater podcast, where we share our experience with all the ups and the downs of working together without killing each other.
What?
You missed your cue.
What was my cue?
You're supposed to say not yet anyway.
Oh my God, I did totally miss it.
Well, you just missed it, but...
Not yet anyway.
Jackie, it's too late.
He's gonna kill me.
Anyway.
It'll be the end of the podcast.
Welcome back! We have had so much fun, so much stress. I don't even think you guys know what it's like working together. I don't know. Like, the deeper into this podcast we get, it's like, I don't know if we're just being tested or tried or what it is, but
yes.
Whew, lots going on.
There's a lot happening here behind the scenes.
But it's not behind the scenes because we're bringing it into the scenes. Anyway, not to take up too much of your time. Thanks again so much for listening. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you leave us a 5-star review because we want to be able to share our experience with as many people as possible. And we appreciate you so much for listening in. Today, we have another question.
Yay.
So make sure we're going to put the link in the show notes if you want to submit a question for us and have a chance to be on the show.
Yeah.
And so today's question comes in from Alyssa.
Yay.
Comes in from Alyssa in Columbia, Tennessee. And I'm kind of nervous. Alyssa is a counselor and she counsels couples.
Yee.
And she should probably counsel us.
Probably.
But she sent us a question, probably a question that she would ask us if we were in her office. And we told her that we work together and it gets crazy stressful, but it's fun. And so anyway, let's just listen in to what Alyssa has to ask.
Hey, Jackie and Tyler. I was wondering what happens when you have an argument at home and what happens when you have to go to work or vice versa. What happens when you disagree at work and then it's time to go home? How are you managing that?
Ooh,
that's a good one.
That's a really good one.
Oh,
wow.
No.
Because
I don't even know where to start.
I feel like that happens all the time.
Oh, all the time. Oh, man.
Because there's always some kind of tension. There's always some kind of, stress going on. And, it is what it is, really, but like, it's become normal to us. I'm going to start with the work. Have issues at work have issues at home and you still have to work, right?
Yeah.
Because that one tends to be the most difficult.
Yeah, I would
right?
agree
Because it can seem a little bit fake to like pull it together. It's like when you're on your way to church and everybody's arguing and fussing because you're running late or something happened or something crazy happened and you get to church and it's like, oh, we're so blessed. Blah, blah,
we
blah.
love everybody.
And it's like those things are still true, but, we're just going to pretend like we didn't try to rip each other's heads off in the car on the way here. But
spoken from true experience.
But, so I don't know. For me, you just got to suck it up and do it. Like,
yeah,
you've got to put other people before yourself and, Jackie can speak for herself, but for me, the way that I pull myself together, like when we've got tense things going on, first of all, we are really blessed because our like arguments and disagreements and things, they feel so major to us, but they are so not. It's always such little things and it's never just a big deal, relatively speaking, right? Even though things get tense and things get heated, like at the end of the day, it's like, it's just an argument. It's just a disagreement. It's not like we're out here, doing anything crazy and really just like hurting each other. It's just offense. Like we get offended by something or just disagree on something and, the tensions of everything else build up. And so to me, it's like, those things do matter, and they do matter to our relationship, and they do need to be discussed, and they do need to be talked about, and they do need to be worked out. However, we have to help people buy and sell their homes. Like, that is what we're really passionate about. And, you know, we can't make that about us when we have these appointments that we're trying to get to and we end up fussing along the way. We have to stay focused on them, and they're the reason why we do this. It's not so that we can make a living and have this just glorious lifestyle for ourselves. You guys know, if you follow us on social media, that we do have a lot of fun and we do get to do a lot of fun things, but like, our life is really our work, and we do this together, and it's all without boundary. And we all, you know, we love people through our business, and we build relationships through our business, and then we're there together, and it's a family thing that we do this and care for people. And so to me, it really just takes focusing on that other person and just saying, like, we do have some stuff that's going on, and we do need to talk about it, and we're going to talk about it. But right now, we have to put our stuff aside, because this is about more than us, and we have to help this person. And we have to still, you know, we have to give them a good experience, because that's what they deserve, regardless of the conversation that was had on the way here in the car.
I feel that. Yeah. I think that that's a really good way to say it. I think for me, honestly, the problem is not putting down whatever argument we have. The problem is coming back to it. So like, if we have an argument like that needs to be discussed and like worked out on our way to an appointment, it's easy for me to kind of just drop it and let it go, and then get into the appointment and honestly a little bit put on a front like I'm okay and everything's fine between us, because Tyler's right. It is most important that they have a good experience, because it's not about us. We are in like a service industry. What's hard is coming out of that appointment and then having like getting back in the car and like feeling the tension in the air, knowing that we need to talk about it, and yet we still need to like button things up with the appointment, probably get ready for the next appointment. And I think that that's the hard part for me, is going back to it to like work it out after having kind of a welcome distraction from the conflict.
Yeah, I could say that, because you really just try to put things off and put things out of sight, out of mind, and then, you know, you just don't worry about it.
It makes me a very agreeable person.
It does.
Unfortunately.
But it just kicks the can down the road.
It does.
Right? Because we know that whatever it is going to come up again, because it's more about just, you know, it's not that one thing that we're arguing about is the big issue, right? It's not that needs to be dealt with. It's that we need to talk about like why we're upset about that, like what that communicates to us, how we can get through it and work through it a little bit better, why we felt disrespected or offended or whatever the case, and be able to work through that so that we can just move forward, right? So that we don't stay stuck on this stuff, that this stuff doesn't keep coming up again, that we don't just suppress it and then this tension just builds and builds again, and then all this stuff comes back out, because that drives me absolutely insane. Like, and I guess that's probably part of what helps, is like, I can't let stuff go in a way that I won't just keep hammering at home like, oh, you upset me, but it's like, no, I don't want to do this again. We're not going to do this again. Like, progress. Like, right. We've got to get better. I'm not going to have this same argument again. I'm not going to have this same fight again. Like, we're going to talk about this and we're going to fix it and we're going to move forward. And we're probably going to fight about it again, but like, we're going to make progress along the way. So right. I guess the second part of that question, I don't think Alyssa intended to be a 2-part question, but I'm taking it that way, because I think that how we respond and how we react is different. So how do you find it difficult, or like, you know, how do you address like fighting about work stuff, and then also being husband and wife, and also, you know, coming home, I guess, so to speak? Because I feel like, I mean, because we work out of our office at home a lot, so it doesn't feel like we're coming home, but you know, we do have dedicated office space, that does give us this separation. But anyway, as far as like coming home, clocking out, being off work, even though that we don't really clock out ever, we're not really off work because we're not really off and on, and we don't really segment those two. We try to be the same person, but right, the relationship and the dynamic of that is a little bit different. So how do you address arguing about work stuff or arguing at work, and then that carrying over into being at home and home time and family time?
I think for me, it's kind of a humbling process, because usually if we argue at work, it's because you were 1000% right about something and I wanted to fight with you because I thought I was right.
I'm glad we got that recorded.
We're getting real here, guys. Hope you're ready. But yeah, so like that's usually what our arguments are about. So like it's tough to kind of leave that in the office, so to speak, and not bring it home to the couch where we have dinner because we eat a lot of our meals on the couch because we're exhausted.
We eat dinner on the couch. Yes, because I don't know, I don't always feel exhausted, but like we put in a full day and I want to just sit down and chill. But also, we don't eat dinner at the table. Like that's for mail and junk and all that stuff that gets collected there. It's not at all for eating dinner. Like I'm just crazy idea there, but I don't know.
It's for Amazon boxes.
I do enjoy eating on the couch and chilling and watching TV. But anyway, not to get distracted from that. You were saying like, how do you deal with that? How do you deal with, clocking out, sitting on the couch, eating dinner, watching TV? Do you just hide basically and avoid it, or like how do you address that?
So like I said, I think it's a little bit of a humbling process. So I think I used to kind of hide from any issues that we had at work. Here lately, I don't think that I'm able to put it down as much. It's having to like respect your leadership in our team. And while that is difficult at first, it is getting easier because I see the progress that our business is making, and I see the successes we've had based on the decisions that you've made and the directions you've chosen to take our teams and how things have paid off. Like, it's awesome. So like, it's getting a lot easier to be like, okay, yeah, Jackie, you were wrong. Shut up and own it. And like, let's move forward, because like, I need to trust you in that. And so like, I know that I shouldn't argue as much at work, if that's making any sense to you. But it's a little bit easier for me. Like, it's getting easier, I should say. It's getting easier. It's a work in progress, but it's getting easier to be a little bit more humble in that I don't know everything about this business, and you've honestly been doing the professional side of it a lot longer than I have. So I do need to like respect your leadership, not only as my husband and in our family, but like as the leader of this team. So yeah, it's getting a little bit easier. How do you handle that? Because I'm an idiot and like I'll argue with a brick wall. So like, how do you handle that? Like taking an argument at work and then like going home to the couch when you clock out?
I just let it go, because typically I'm going to talk it out, right? Like I said in the beginning, and I don't just say, this is what I say and this is how it's going to be and whatever, and just railroad you. I definitely want your opinion, but I generally will explain why I made the decision that I made, why I feel like that's the best way to go about it. And I'm open to discussion about that, but it's usually not much of a discussion. It's just like just like a war, like,
It is. We kind of get up in arms very quickly, but it's partly because I'm a little bit of a SheHulk. I have a problem reining in my anger, so I get very heated, even though I'm very wrong. So
I like how you just say that in the most calm. I'm a little bit of a SheHulk. Like you're going to say it, but you don't want people to actually believe it. So like, you're just going to like rein it in. Like, oh no, I've literally locked Jackie out of the house before because she was throwing a raging fit.
It's true.
Oh, it's coming out.
Oh no, it's coming out.
And I can stay super calm. I can stay super, super calm, keep myself kind of removed, don't let emotions take the reins. And that's just been something that's developed over a long period of time. I've not always been that way. I've always dealt with a little bit of anger myself in the past, but now it's not as much of an issue. I can kind of see that, where emotions are taking me and not let them take control.
Mhm.
So Jackie has not gotten to that point.
I'm not there
and
yet.
I don't even know what she was mad about. I bet she couldn't even tell you.
I have no clue.
But she got so upset and she just like went outside on the back deck and just started screaming and like
I beat the deck like Donkey Kong,
Donkey Kong on the deck, like just.
I was so mad and I couldn't even tell you what I was so mad about.
So I'm like, I see this and I'm calm. I'm not like heated in the moment, like meeting her where she's at. This is like really one of the first times where I realized like I've experienced so much emotional growth that I can do that, because normally it's just like an all out war. But like, I'm like, what is happening here? Like, what's going on? She has lost it.
Yeah.
And so I just went over to the back door and just went click.
Locked me out.
Then she starts beating on the door. And I said in the most calm voice,
oh, yeah.
I said, you can calm down and then you can come inside.
I was so mad. Oh, so mad. I couldn't even tell you what I was mad about. And like, okay, all right. That's definitely my fault. 1000%. Need to get my anger in check. But I remember that. I remember beating on the deck too, man.
I hope you felt silly.
I feel silly now talking about it for sure.
Well, you should.
I know. God.
Oh, that's great.
We're getting real here, guys.
That's great.
I have anger issues. Tyler's safe, I promise.
That's not true. Send help.
No.
So, yeah. Talking about how I deal with it.
Yes.
I try to let it go. I try to just let it go. I talk about it though. We discuss it. Open discussion. Like, hey, this is why I see things this way.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I don't know. I said, well, I just, I don't know. This is the way we're going to, this is the way I feel like it should be. And you can convince me otherwise if you can.
Just never. It's hardly ever. Which I'll say this. Tyler also has he has the God-given gift of discernment. Like, I'm convinced 1000%. So like, if he says he's got a gut feeling about something, I know that that's the Holy Spirit, like directing him somewhere. And so like, I know to trust his intuition, because it's not just his intuition. Like, it is from God. So like, if he feels like we should, like, I can't tell you why, but I know that we should do this. And I'm like, yep. Okay, let's do it.
Yeah. I mean, that's mostly with like really big stuff though.
Yeah,
it's not
that's
like
true.
in the day-to-day things that we would typically argue about. Those big things like that, we're usually pretty well on the same page with, which definitely helps out a lot. But it's usually one of us dropping the ball on something,
Me.
work-wise, and just getting heated about it.
Mm-hmm.
And once I kind of say, hey, we can't drop the ball on this because this person is important to us, and this is just a very tedious small task, but this is what that communicates. And like, once I kind of get that out, I'm kind of done. Like, like, I'm happy to discuss it or whatever, but and happy to listen. But like, once I say that, like, I'm just like, that's it. Like, I don't have to keep pushing it. I don't have to keep going and keep arguing about it. I don't have to keep just beating a dead horse about the whole situation. Like, once I say that and I feel like that's communicated, and I feel like you receive that and receive why I'm upset about it, about, the work thing, whatever it may be, then I'm done. And I'm like, not like done, but like, it's no longer a bother to me. Like, it doesn't loom over me and hang over me.
You've said your piece.
I've said my piece, but also like, there's nothing I can do about it at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the damage has been done. I've communicated like why we don't need to do that, what that means to me and what that means to our clients or the vendors or people that we work with. And after that, I feel like there's really nothing else that can be done, like, or nothing else to really talk about, like, other than if there's something that you have to say. But like, I feel like once that's out there, like, I don't have anything else, going on. And so it does though take a lot of grace because, and I think that's, what Alyssa is talking about. It's not necessarily just how to be done with the disagreement, but like we can't just go from like disagreeing and being very heated and arguing or whatever. And then, now we're just a husband and wife on the couch or whatever. And I will say that is very difficult.
Mhm.
It takes grace and letting go of that. And it honestly is taking a lot of growth from me personally to understand that I love and care about Jackie regardless of her production.
Thank God.
And I know that I don't always communicate that because I'm a worker. Like, I work and I produce and I want progress and I want growth and I want things to constantly be getting better. I want to constantly be getting better. I want to constantly be growing. And I kind of expect that from everyone else around me. And because of that, it can seem a bit challenging, but I try to do it in a positive way. But sometimes when emotions get high and things get a little bit heated, I tend to focus a little bit more on the mistakes and a little bit more on the negative side of things rather than, being able to be balanced like I am when I'm not stressed or when I'm not having to deal with some major issue and some fallout and having to go back and fix things. And that's something that I really struggle with, that I currently struggle with, that I'm, working on getting better at is being able to just understand and give grace and understand that my love for her, and that goes with any of our team members or the people that we work with or anything, even though things get tense in those moments, it's not just about their production, and that the love and my level of care is not dependent on production, right? I might get frustrated if the production is not there, not necessarily just go and produce and sell. I mean, like, as far as like systems and processes and making sure that people are taken care of more so than when I talk about production, I'm just talking about productivity more so than like making more and more sales.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
more about like productivity, and it's more about the service that we give to our clients. And when there's a ball drop there, that's one thing that's really kind of difficult for me because I have a high level of expectation and I feel like I communicate that expectation very clearly. So when that is not followed through on, it's really difficult for me to not take that personally.
Mm-hmm.
So Alyssa, that is a work in progress. That is something that, totally aware of on my side, and Jackie's becoming aware of her anger and her SheHulkness.
Sorry.
But that awareness has been there and has been, a point of growth for me that I've constantly been working on and just trying to work on how to communicate that, how to let those things go. And the answer really is grace.
Yes.
Right? The answer is that grace has to abound. Forgiveness has to be there and to be present in absolutely everything, because we often want forgiveness for ourselves, but we criticize others.
Right.
And I have to understand that if I want forgiveness, I have to give forgiveness. And I want forgiveness. I need it. I need it really bad, because as much as I try to operate at a high level and be organized and make sure everything's right, I will drop the ball. I will, and I'm going to, and I got to be okay with that. And I want grace from other people when that happens. So I really, even if they don't give me grace, I want it. So I want to be able to extend that to everyone else.
Thank goodness, because I dropped the ball a lot. I'm so thankful for the grace that you have shown me. Thank goodness. Of course, you do fire me about once a week, so.
It's not that often.
Be real.
It's pretty often.
It's pretty often. I love you.
All right, Jackie, anything else you got to say about that?
Whew. If Alyssa keeps sending in questions, we're going to probably have to schedule a therapy session because it's going to get really real really quick.
We're going to be in trouble. It's going to end up in a reality show. The cat fights.
Well, I mean, people like the drama, right?
Are you dramatic enough?
I think you are.
You think?
Drama queen.
Oh, my gosh. Get out of here.
And on that note,
that's all we have time for. Thanks so much to Alyssa out of Columbia, Tennessee, for submitting your question. Again, make sure you hit the link in the show notes if you would like to ask a question or a topic that you would like for us to cover. Make sure you follow us on Instagram. I'll put those links in there as well. And until next time, thank you so much for listening. This is the Two is Greater podcast, where we share our experience of all the ups and the downs of working together without killing each other.
not yet anyway.
Not yet, anyway. Thanks again.
Thanks. See ya.